Red Notice 2 on Netflix potential release date, cast and more about the sequel. Red Notice 2 is still officially on the horizon for starring trio Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot, but it isn't the only one. Netflix's action movie is getting 2 sequels, which isn't surprising since Red Notice garnered the biggest opening weekend ever for a Netflix movie. Even before Red Notice came out on Netflix, Johnson was talking about a sequel. Johnson produced the movie through his 7 Bucks Productions company, so his words have more than your average amount of veracity. Of course, the emphasis of one producer does not a sequel make, and even Johnson acknowledged that it was up to the audience's reaction. I will tell you that just based off of reaction so far and what we've been able to cull from the audiences, there's a good chance that we will see a return of this, he told SiriusXM. Critics' response be damned, there are 2 films in the pipeline. Red Notice has a twisty ending that sets up the sequel, seeing the leading trio involved in an even bigger heist than the first. Red Notice 2 potential release date. When would Red Notice 2 be released? In January 2022, it was reported that Netflix was in the beginning stages of organizing back-to-back filming for 2 Red Notice sequels. In October 2022, Red Notice's co-producer Beau Flynn told Collider that the Red Notice 2 script was completed, with the script for the 3rd one nearly done then, so it's probably done by now. The goal is to have production begin in early 2023, though no confirmation about production commencing has been released. As far as release dates go, Netflix sequels tend to arrive 2 years after the first movie. This would put Red Notice 2 out on Netflix in November 2023, which feels like a tight schedule given production has yet to begin and 2 movies worth of filming needs to be completed. Red Notice 2 cast, who's coming back for Red Notice 2, despite them getting into some sticky situations. There were no casualties in the first movie, so we can expect everybody back for the sequel. Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot should be back as John Hartley, Nolan Booth, and the Bishop, respectively, although we now know that Hartley is just another version of the Bishop, so who knows if that's even his real name. After issuing red notices on the 3 of them, we reckon Ritu Arya will be back as Interpol Inspector Urvashi Das. There's also the chance that Chris Diamantopoulos will return as arms dealer Sato Bocci, out for revenge after the Bishop double-crossed him. After all, we didn't see what happened to him after Hartley and Booth escaped from him, with Diamantopoulos revealing to the Wrap that they shot a scene of him being arrested, but it was cut from the movie. They didn't put it in, so I feel like it's who knows, right? All Thurber needs to say is where and when, and I'll be there, he said. Will Ed Sheeran be back for another surprise cameo? Depends if he gets let free from Interpol. Red Notice 2 plot. How does Red Notice's ending set up Red Notice 2? The biggest twist of Red Notice, and there are a lot of them, is that Hartley has been working with the Bishop all along. They're both the Bishop and have been playing Booth for a fool. They needed Booth to tell them the location of Cleopatra's missing egg, in order to sell the 3 of them to an Egyptian billionaire for $300 million. After they do so, they even double-cross the billionaire and get him arrested by Interpol. Red Notice 2 trailer. Any Red Notice 2 footage yet? It won't be a surprise to know there's no footage of Red Notice 2 yet, as filming hasn't started yet. Luckily, you can just watch the first movie whenever you want.